The world is full of stories, some told, many forgotten, and others whispered only in shadows. Beneath the surface of history and science lie mysteries that defy explanation, puzzles that have haunted humanity for centuries. From ancient carvings etched in stone to ghostly lights flickering over marshes, from vanished civilizations swallowed by the sea to chilling encounters in war-torn jungles, these enigmas beckon us to look closer, to question what we think we know. Today, we journey into the unknown. We will explore 10 captivating mysteries that remain unsolved, each one a thread in the vast tapestry of the unexplained. So sit tight, and you will have incredible luck if you like and subscribe before this video ends. Hemet Maze Stone, the mysterious carving that defied explanation. It began in 1914, when a rancher surveying his land near Hemet, California, stumbled upon a massive boulder unlike anything he had ever seen. Carved deep into its surface was a complex maze pattern, an intricate design that seemed out of place in the rugged California wilderness. What was this strange symbol doing here, and who had made it? Eyewitnesses who first saw the stone described a chilling sense of unease. The maze was not just a simple carving. It resembled a swastika-like shape, a symbol used across millennia in distant cultures, from Asia to Native American tribes. Yet, this labyrinthine design was unlike any petroglyph typically found in the region, which usually depicted animals or nature scenes. The mystery deepened when archaeologists uncovered artifacts nearby, dating the carving to roughly 500 years ago. But how had such a sophisticated maze ended up here? Scientists launched investigations, hoping to unravel the stone's secrets. Some proposed a startling theory. Chinese sailors shipwrecked off the California coast might have carved the maze as a marker or message. Yet, despite extensive research and comparisons with other similar stones found nearby, no conclusive evidence ever surfaced. The scientific community was left baffled, unable to explain the origin or purpose of the maze. Theories ranged from ancient navigation aids to spiritual symbols, but none fit perfectly. What truly haunted the investigators was the eerie persistence of the mystery. The maze seemed to beckon, a puzzle frozen in stone that refused to be solved. Was it a relic of forgotten travelers, a warning, or something else entirely? The silence from the past left a lingering dread, an unanswered question echoing through the decades. To this day, the Hemet Maze Stone remains an enigma, a silent sentinel guarding its secrets beneath the California sun. What story lies hidden in those ancient grooves? And will anyone ever unlock the maze's true meaning? Rock apes, the Vietnam War's unseen jungle beasts. During the Vietnam War, deep in the dense jungles where American soldiers faced not only enemy fire, but something far more bizarre. Reports began flooding in. Soldiers claimed they were being stalked by strange creatures, tall and covered in reddish-brown hair, throwing rocks and even grenades back at them. These were no ordinary animals. They called them rock apes, and the fear they inspired was palpable. One soldier's chilling eyewitness account still sends shivers down the spine. He described the creatures as at least 6 feet tall, with long limbs and large stomachs, moving in groups like troops. On a hill ominously nicknamed Monkey Mountain, these rock apes seemed to taunt the troops, hurling stones with uncanny accuracy. Some soldiers swore the creatures had almost human intelligence, yet no one ever managed to capture one or get clear proof of their existence. Scientists and military investigators tried to make sense of these accounts. Some suggested the rock apes were simply orangutans, but orangutans had been extinct in Vietnam for thousands of years. Others believed the soldiers were hallucinating due to the extreme stress and unfamiliar environment. In 1974, the Vietnam People's Army even launched an expedition to capture one for study, but it ended in failure. No tangible evidence was ever found, and the mystery deepened. What remains unexplained is the eerie nature of these encounters. How could creatures seemingly intelligent enough to throw grenades evade all attempts at capture? Were these rock apes a lost species, a product of wartime paranoia, or something else entirely? The jungle swallowed the truth, leaving behind only whispered stories and unanswered questions. Even decades later, the legend of the rock apes lingers, haunting the dense Vietnamese forests. What were these creatures? And do they still roam, hidden from the eyes of the world? Alea ghost lights, the sinister swamp flames of West Bengal. In the dark, misty nights in the swamps of West Bengal, where fishermen told chilling tales of ghostly lights flickering just above the marshes. These weren't ordinary lights. They seemed to move with a will of their own, luring men deeper into the swamp. Many fishermen vanished without a trace, their boats found abandoned or their bodies washing ashore, surrounded by an eerie mist. What was behind these haunting Alea ghost lights? One fisherman's eyewitness account remains etched in local memory. He described the lights as glowing orbs that danced just beyond reach, hypnotizing him with their flickering glow. He barely escaped with his life, convinced the lights were the restless spirits of drowned fishermen, trapped forever in the marshes. Locals whispered that the lights were malevolent, not just mysterious, and that those who followed them were doomed. Scientists tried to explain the phenomenon. The first theory suggested that swamp gases ignited by lightning caused the lights, but this failed to account for their strange behavior, especially how the lights seemed to follow people. Others proposed fireflies or barn owls as culprits, but these explanations didn't fit the eerie, otherworldly quality reported by witnesses. Despite attempts to study the Alea lights, no definitive scientific explanation has emerged. The mystery deepens with every disappearance and every unexplained sighting. What energy fuels these ghostly flames? Are they natural phenomena or something supernatural? The Alea ghost lights continue to flicker, casting an unsettling glow over the swamps, a silent warning to those who dare to venture too close. The unanswered questions hang heavy in the humid air. Are the light spirits seeking release, or a natural trap for the unwary? And will the truth ever emerge from the shadows of the marsh? The missing nuclear bomb, lost beneath the waves off Tybee Island. On February 5, 1958, when an F-86 fighter jet collided midair with a B-47 bomber over the waters near Tybee Island, Georgia. The bomber was carrying a Mark 15 nuclear bomb, an unimaginable weapon of mass destruction. To save the crew, the bomb was jettisoned into the sea. But what happened next would haunt military officials for decades. Eyewitnesses from the bomber crew recalled the terrifying moments as the bomb dropped silently into the murky depths. There was no explosion, but the sheer weight and power of the bomb beneath the waves sent shockwaves through the military command. Immediate searches were launched, but despite exhaustive efforts, the bomb vanished without a trace. Scientists and military experts scrambled to locate the weapon. Some insisted the bomb was armed with a dummy core, making it harmless, while others feared it was fully functional, still holding 400 pounds of high explosives. Over the years, multiple search expeditions scoured the ocean floor, including a 2004 operation that narrowed the search to an area the size of a football field. Yet, the bomb remained elusive, hidden beneath the shifting sands and tides. The eerie truth is that the bomb may still lie buried beneath the seabed, a silent and deadly relic waiting to be disturbed. What dangers does it pose to the environment and nearby communities? Why have searches stopped? And what does the military really know? The mystery of the missing nuclear bomb off Tybee Island remains one of the most chilling unsolved military secrets. The unanswered questions ripple through time. Could this lost weapon ever be found? And what catastrophic consequences might follow if it is disturbed? Mysterious particles, ghost signals from the Antarctic ice. In the frozen silence of Antarctica starting in 2016, when detectors buried deep in the ice began registering ultra-high energy particles shooting upward through the Earth's crust. These weren't ordinary cosmic rays. They defied the laws of physics as we know them. Scientists were stunned. What were these ghost particles, and where did they come from? One chilling account from researchers involved in the Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, ANITA, experiment described the baffling signals as like nothing we've ever seen. The particles appeared to be ultra-high energy neutrinos, ghostly subatomic particles that rarely interact with matter. But these particles should not have been able to pass through the entire Earth and emerge on the other side. Yet, the detectors saw them again and again, as if breaking the fundamental rules of physics. Scientific investigations have proposed various theories. Some suggested the existence of sterile neutrinos, hypothetical particles beyond the standard model. Others speculated about unusual dark matter distributions or unknown astrophysical sources. But none of these explanations fully accounted for the strange behavior. The mystery deepened, pushing physicists to question the very foundations of particle physics. The most unsettling theory? That these particles might be evidence of a parallel universe where time flows backward, a cosmic mirror image of our own reality. If true, it would shatter everything we know about the universe's origin and fate. Yet, the truth remains elusive, locked away beneath the Antarctic ice. The lingering dread is palpable. Are these ghost particles a glimpse into a hidden dimension? Or are they a sign that our understanding of the universe is fundamentally flawed? The unanswered questions continue to haunt scientists, beckoning them to uncover the secrets buried in the coldest place on Earth. The Morgate tragedy, the train crash that defied explanation. In February 28, 1975, when a routine London Underground train hurtled past its final stop at Morgate Station, failing to brake and violently smashing into a concrete wall at the end of the tunnel. The impact was catastrophic, killing 43 people and injuring 74 in what became the worst peacetime accident in the tube's history. But the real horror wasn't just the crash, it was the chilling mystery of why it happened. Chilling eyewitness accounts from survivors painted a terrifying picture. They described the train accelerating, the driver, 56-year-old Leslie Newson, staring ahead, seemingly unresponsive, almost zombie-like, as the train sped towards its gruesome fate. Newson, a veteran driver with 6 years of unblemished service, kept his hand on the power handle until just 2 seconds before impact, making no attempt to brake or even brace himself. It defied all logic. Scientific and mechanical investigations immediately followed. Engineers meticulously examined the wreckage, expecting to find a catastrophic mechanical failure. Instead, their findings were baffling. The train was in perfect working order. This shifted the focus to the driver. Authorities found Newson in good health, with only a negligible amount of alcohol in his system. There were no signs of a heart attack, no medical emergency, no indication of suicidal intent, and no evidence of a terror plot. He even had money on him intended for his daughter's car, suggesting ordinary plans for the day. The inexplicable nature of the crash left a lingering dread. What had happened to Leslie Newson in those final moments? Was it a fugue state, an undiagnosed medical condition that caused him to become blank? Or was there an unknown substance involved that altered his thinking? To this day, the definitive reason for the Morgate tragedy remains shrouded in unsettling mystery. The driver died in the crash, taking the truth with him. The unanswered questions echo through the underground tunnels. What caused Newson to act so strangely? And could such an inexplicable event happen again? Atlantis, the lost civilization that time forgot. Over 2 millennia ago, when the ancient philosopher Plato wrote of a magnificent civilization called Atlantis. According to his accounts, Atlantis existed 9,000 years before his time, a powerful empire that vanished beneath the waves in a single day and night. But was Atlantis real, or merely a myth crafted to illustrate an ideal society? Chilling eyewitness accounts don't exist, but Plato's vivid descriptions painted a haunting picture of a sprawling island nation with advanced technology and unparalleled wealth. His dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, are the only known records of Atlantis, sparking centuries of fascination and debate. Was Plato recounting a true history, or weaving a cautionary tale about hubris and downfall? Scientific investigations and archaeological searches have tried to uncover Atlantis' location, but all have failed to provide conclusive evidence. Theories abound. Some believe Atlantis was a continent in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, swallowed by cataclysmic floods. Others point to the Bermuda Triangle as the site of its disappearance. Still, another theory suggests that what we call Antarctica today lies atop the sunken city, frozen beneath thick ice sheets. Yet none of these theories have been proven. The eerie mystery of Atlantis endures because it straddles the line between legend and reality. Was it a real civilization lost to natural disaster, or a philosophical invention meant to inspire? The idea of a highly advanced society erased from history ignites the imagination, and the dread that some truths might be forever buried beneath the ocean. The unanswered questions remain. Did Atlantis truly exist? Or is it a myth that has captivated humanity for centuries? And if it did exist, what secrets lie beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered? Robert Rafford, the silent beginning of a global epidemic. It began in 1968, long before the world knew of AIDS. Robert Rafford, a 15-year-old boy from the American Midwest, started suffering from strange and severe symptoms: intense pelvic pain, swollen testicles, difficulty breathing, and mysterious sores covering his body. Doctors were baffled. What was causing this rapid and devastating decline? Eyewitness accounts from medical staff painted a haunting picture of a boy in agony, his health deteriorating with no clear explanation. Initially, doctors suspected sexual abuse after testing positive for severe chlamydia, but Rafford's conflicting stories about his sexual history only deepened the mystery. He died in May 1969, his cause of death unknown at the time, leaving behind more questions than answers. Scientific investigation took a dramatic turn 2 decades later. When AIDS emerged as a global crisis in the 1980s, one of Rafford's doctors tested preserved tissue samples from the boy. The results were staggering. Rafford's cells tested positive for antibodies against all 9 detectable HIV proteins. Suddenly, Rafford was identified as the earliest known AIDS victim in the United States, contracting the virus long before it was recognized. The eerie and unsettling question remains: how did a Midwestern boy with no history of travel to major cities where AIDS first spread contracted the virus? Some experts speculate he may have been forced into child prostitution, while others wonder if the virus had been silently circulating in the U.S. far earlier than believed. The truth remains locked away in the shadows. The lingering dread is profound. Robert Rafford's story marks the hidden beginning of a pandemic that would claim millions of lives. His death was silent, his suffering unknown to the world until decades later. And the unanswered questions continue to haunt researchers. How did HIV first enter the American population? And how many other silent victims came before Rafford? Fort Hood deaths, a base shrouded in tragedy and mystery. It escalated sharply in 2020 when 39 soldiers stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, either died or vanished under suspicious circumstances. Among these, 13 were suicides, 5 were confirmed murders, and 11 remained unsolved. The grim statistics shocked the nation and raised urgent questions about what was truly happening inside one of America's largest military bases. Eyewitness accounts from fellow soldiers and base personnel described a growing atmosphere of fear and confusion. Reports of disappearances, strange behaviors, and unexplained deaths painted a picture of a place haunted by unseen forces. One soldier's sudden death behind the barracks, just days after another missing soldier returned unharmed, deepened the unease. The base, once a symbol of strength and discipline, seemed to be unraveling. Scientific investigation and official inquiries revealed a disturbing pattern. Between 2014 and 2019, Fort Hood saw over 129 felonies, including murder, kidnapping, aggravated assault, and rape, numbers that rivaled or exceeded American casualties in overseas conflicts during the same period. Despite ongoing investigations and increased security measures, the reasons behind the surge in violence and tragedy remained elusive. The unexplained and eerie nature of these events left a lingering dread among military families and officials alike. What systemic failures or hidden dangers were fueling this wave of death and disappearance? Was there something more sinister at play within the base's walls? The mystery remains unresolved, casting a shadow over Fort Hood's future. The unanswered questions continue to haunt. Why has Fort Hood become a hotspot for such tragedies? And what must be done to uncover the truth and bring peace to those affected? Strange burial. The girl with a bird's skull in her mouth. The tension emerged in the 1960s, deep within the Tunel Wielki cave system in Poland's Jurassic Highland, when archaeologists uncovered a shallow grave unlike any other. Inside lay the skeleton of a young girl, aged between 10 and 12, but what made this burial chilling was the tiny bird skull placed inside the empty cavity where her mouth once was, a finch's skull, accompanied by another bird skull nearby. What dark ritual or belief had led to such a strange and haunting burial? Eyewitness accounts from the archaeologists who first examined the site describe an eerie silence and a sense of unease as they uncovered the remains. The placement of the bird skull was unlike any known burial practice in the region, suggesting a ritualistic or symbolic meaning lost to time. It was later determined that the girl likely came with Finnish troops who invaded Poland during the 17th century, making this the only known Scandinavian bird-headed burial discovered in the area. Scientific investigation into the burial raised more questions than answers. Why was a bird's skull placed in the girl's mouth? Was it meant to protect her spirit, silence her in death, or serve some other unknown purpose? The cause of her death remains a mystery, as does the significance of the birds in her burial. This strange practice stands alone in the archaeological record, defying explanation. The unexplained and eerie nature of this burial leaves a lingering dread. What beliefs or fears drove this ritual? And what stories about the girl's life and death have been lost forever? The unanswered questions echo through the cave's cold darkness, a silent testament to a forgotten past. What secrets does this ancient and haunting burial hold? And will we ever truly understand the meaning behind the girl with a bird's skull in her mouth? Perhaps that is why we are drawn to them. These mysteries that resist explanation. They challenge us to think deeper, to look beyond the obvious, and to accept that some secrets may never be fully revealed. But in that uncertainty lies a strange comfort. The reminder that the world is far more complex, strange, and wondrous than we can imagine. So, as you close this chapter, remember, every mystery solved only opens the door to another. The search continues, and the unknown waits patiently for those brave enough to seek it. Feel free to leave your comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more mysteries like this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.